A pinnacle moment in a football player's career is becoming a part of the NFL. The same goes for a company making its public debut. To discuss those moments and preview the 13th annual IPO Summit here at the New York Stock Exchange, I want to welcome in our next guest. We've got Jim Neesen, managing partner at Connor Group, and Jameis Winston, quarterback for the New York Giants, joining us here at the big board. Guys, it is good to see both of you all. Okay, so let's start with just the essence of this summit. I'm going to start with Jim first,
Yes.
Jameis. Tell us about what we can expect this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is a gold medal audience of pre-IPO companies. We have over 600 executives. We have 300 plus companies, 120 unicorns, $680 billion of valuation. And these are companies that are sort of 1, 2, 3 years away from IPO. They're going to be changing the economic and the technology landscape of the U.S. Over 1 million employees are represented by these companies, and these are companies that are really going to be sort of out there in the markets and be available to trade.
And Jameis, you are an athlete investor. So tell us about the parallels that you see between peak performance, whether it comes to football or business.
Well, I believe what you set your attention to, you will attract. And I know that one day I will too have a business that will be open for public to be able to trade and be making a lot of money. But I just think the integrity of your heart and the desire to have success is a very important part in being an athlete and also being a business owner.
Let's talk about the forecast for this year, Jim.
Yes.
So last year was a hot year for the IPO market, the best year that we've had in several years since 2020. Well, since 2021.
Correct.
So 2026 is expected to have momentum this year. We've seen some IPOs already this year. Tell us about the expectations.
Yeah, I mean, we're forecasting 375 to 400 IPOs this year, a 20% growth. And you're already seeing, it is a hot January and February that we've seen so far. 66 IPOs, 38% increase from this exact point in time last year. This IPO Summit is really indicative of how much sort of momentum as well as interest there is in 2026 and 27. You have 1,600 unicorns out there, 800 in the US alone. And these are companies, they've been in the gym, right? They've been training. They're like the football players. They're going through their spring practices, but they're getting ready for the big game. And going public is the big game.
It is, and but it's not just about the moment, right? You have moments like that, and I'm curious to know how you balance all of that, right? You know, because you have the moment, and there's all the hoopla around that, like, you know, milestones of, you know, becoming a quarterback in the NFL, and then, you know, just continuing on. How do you maintain consistency?
Well, I will have to disagree with you to a bit because it is about the moment.
Okay.
It's about being fully present in what you're doing because that single-minded is the reason when you set that initial vision to get to where you're going, right? So being able to focus on the small increments to success is a key part of just organization growth, of your internal growth, and obviously business growth.
Okay, so don't forget about the moment.
Be a master of that moment.
Okay, I like that.
Absolutely.
I got to write that one down.
Yes,
Okay, and Jim, there are big deals to watch this year, mega deals. We've been having conversations about the potential for Anthropic, SpaceX, and, you know, I mean, they've got huge numbers potentially coming to the market this year. Tell us what you're watching on that front for the mega deals.
Yeah, so I'd say 5 mega deals, and these are defined as ones that are $100 billion plus. You mentioned SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic, Databricks, and Stripe. Those are going to be the marquee deals, right? These are the ones that are transformative companies in the market. There is also an unbelievable crop. I think of it as like college football players who are getting ready for the pros, right? I mean, you have a Revolut, a Canva, a Cerberus, a Plaid.
Yeah.
These are companies that have been getting ready for 2 or 3 years. Connor Group, we have 105 clients that are getting ready for 26 and 27 transactions, and no one has seen that yet. This is sort of, I think about it's like waves, right? They're on the horizon, they're coming up to the shore. That's really what the IPO market is all about. So I think a lot of excitement, and VC and private equity, they're getting ready for this. This is going to be big.
And so a parallel that I see is it's a balancing act, right? Because as an executive, similar to a leader on the football field, is, you know, balancing everything. So I got to ask you how you balance it all as a family man. I've seen your, you know, stuff that comes across the feed, the social media feed, obviously. You're a family man, you're a a key part of the NFL. You are an investor. How do you balance it? When do you sleep?
I sleep for at least 5 to 7 hours. That's when I sleep. But balance is a part of life. And in life, you have to understand that your faith is so important. When you put faith into what you do, your work ethic, your decisions, and your choices, then you're able to have a bigger purpose. You're able to see something that is bigger than your business, see something that is bigger than your company opening. And I think that larger vision allows you to attract other things to come, and it allows for your success.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That matters to me as well, the faith component. And I know you also often talk about gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
How important is that?
Man, listen, Diane, gratitude is the key to abundance, because when you're grateful, then you're able to find that seed of good in anything. A lot of these businesses have faced certain failures. A lot of them have seen certain things not go their way. But when they find that seed of good, they're not able to progress. And I think it's about constant growth. Like, I know stocks, I'm an investor, so I know sometimes things go up, but eventually things are going to go down. But that consistency to believe in what you're doing and the ability to stay the long haul and trust in what you know and notice what you notice when you need to get out of there.
Yes.
And I know that, like being in the pocket. So it's just consistency, it is faith, and it is gratitude.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So let me ask you about that. Because of the turbulence that Jameis just essentially mentioned,
yes.
Sometimes there are companies that come to the public market and it's a big flashy moment, but then there is some turbulence that happens.
Yes.
I think about those that are in the crypto space, right? That's a key, and it's been since October, it's been a difficult season for crypto. Even if the company may be doing well because they are connected to the crypto industry, they're dealing with challenges. What do you say, because you help get companies ready to come to public markets. You've helped companies that we know, like Tesla, like Uber. What do you say to manage those periods?
Yeah, a lot of it is, Jameis was a #1 draft choice, right? That is like going public, right? That is a big moment, but the reality is, what's the rest of your career look like? That's what it is for a public company, this is not just the wedding, this is the many decades afterwards of a loving relationship. And it's a loving relationship with your investors and your employees and your executives. Companies need to know that this is for the long term, and you need to be able to understand your business, to be able to predict revenue and earnings, and you want to beat and raise your numbers over a period of time. So I think the key is know what your vision is and know what your mission is, mission. Jameis mentioned purpose. If you know your long-term purpose as a business, that's the North Star. The North Star will guide you, and thereafter you just continue towards it.
Right.
What do you see as your purpose? That makes me think of that, because I ask because I know that the typical career of an NFL player is shorter than what you're experiencing, right? The average career is like 3 years, right? If I'm not mistaken. So you've outstripped that, right?
Yeah.
But it won't last forever. And now we love you. Everybody loves you. Even, people who aren't fans of the teams you play for.
Absolutely.
Love you. What do you see as your purpose?
Yeah. My purpose is to go in and make disciples. And what I mean by making disciples is encouraging people to believe in something that is larger than themselves. For me, that is Jesus Christ. But for others, I don't really want to get into that. But what I focus on is increase. And the impact that I have and the light that I have within me is to lead others to Jesus Christ, and also to provide with them something that is bigger than their own selves. I believe, like when he talked about the expectation of me being a #1 draft pick, when you are going into business and when you become public, you have an immediate expectation. But character is not just defined about what you do then. Character is defined about what you do over time. So as long as you're committed to that process, as long as you have the ability to endure, that is the key to your success. But man, I'm gonna continue to make people smile. I'm gonna continue to impact my community and allow people to know that there is something bigger than them.
Yes, I love that. Bigger than themselves and endure, because there have been turbulent times in the market recently. I appreciate that. All right, thank you all.
All right, thank you, Dan.
That is Jameis Winston. He is quarterback for the NFL, the New York Giants, and Jim Neesen, managing partner at Connor Group.